Hello.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Diabear Adventuring Company. It is Saturday night, and we're going to be running with Session 1 of the Stolen Cities. This is a campaign that I've been working on for quite some time, doing some playtesting and messing around with, and I'm very excited to be able to show it to you all. We ran Session 0, which is going to be available on the Diabear Patreon if you'd like to support that. I believe the link will be somewhere in the doobly-doo.
The link is below.
Thank you.
The doobly-doo, really.
The down there part, I don't know. What do you
It could have been worse.
You know,
it
the
really could have
thingamabob.
been worse.
Oh, God. But in any case, we have our 4 players here. As I'm sure you've seen her before, we have Maddie. And we have 3 newcomers. We have Christian,
Hello.
Lucas,
Hey.
and Tim.
Howdy.
Oh boy, this is going to be some fun stuff.
Don't sound so enthused.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great.
I'm
Don't worry
so
about
sorry. I will continue to bring a Ben Stein-like energy to the remainder of this session.
What
I'm
can
saying have a nice
possibly
day.
go wrong?
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. And the DM said, let there be session. Now, as we left off, the party had just begun their sort of dinner introductions with our newcomer, Cross, having been introduced to the underground village of Madengard, and everyone here being introduced to quite the homely little automaton by the name of Jason. Everybody's got their food, everybody's ready to do the things they need to do with it. Eat, drink, consume. Whatever it is need be. However, the faint rumbling from above the ceiling of Madengard still persists. It hasn't quite transitioned into night just yet. So it's a bit of a wonder as to what could be making such noises and such commotion above your shallow hamlet. Given that no alarms have been raised, no alerts have been shouted by any of the other officers or guardsmen who protect the village.
I tell you what, 2 silver tells me it's a bird.
Making that kind of noise? You're joking.
Could be a pretty big bird. They're always up to sun during feather friggin' stealing my fish.
I don't ever think I had a bird like that before.
Well,
Would you care for me to go check outside and see what is causing the rumble? I would like to be of service to all of you. How can I be of help?
well, might as well just go with them, I guess.
Understood. Would you care for some
So-
food for the road?
I lost my appetite.
Understood.
Thinking about birds is just
Listen,
clenched his stomach.
whenever Ralph thinks about birds, he thinks about one thing: fish, and just hates them.
The fish or the birds?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, is it just going to be Jason and Relican heading upstairs?
Oh, something's threatening the sanctity of this place. Might as well. But I'm telling you, it's not a bird.
Still making the bet?
It could possibly be a giant albatross. I do believe those can cause quite a rumble.
Let's just...
Understood.
Not a bird.
Jason kind of waddles off the bench and just kind of hops down onto the ground with his stubby little feet just kind of marching along to the way upstairs.
Okay. So, the exit of the village of Madengard has been heavily guarded ever since Jason's arrival in the village. Arrival, crash landing, potato. However, upon seeing that the individuals approaching are, 1, Jason, and 2, a set of reasonably seasoned fighters and people who seem like they can hold their own, and a small child, the guards decide to allow you to pass upstairs. They know Relican, they know Venelin quite well. Jason is an automaton, so at worst, they could probably repair you.
Nothing like duct tape can't fix.
What's duct tape?
You don't know duct tape? Duct tape fixes everything. Fixes your fishing line, fixes your bow, fixes your marriage. I mean, what?
Why would you tap a duck?
I
How does
hold
it
out
fix
a
a
roll of
marriage?
duct tape. And don't you question about duct tape. It does everything.
Relican holds up the only roll of duct tape in all of Madengard.
Duct tape is cloth or scrim-based backed pressure-sensitive tape, often coated with polyethylene. It is used for taping up ducts, as opposed to ducks.
What he said.
Right.
I'm gonna write lore for how Relican got the only roll of duct tape on this entire island. But in any case, you guys head upstairs and find that the main guard post from where you guys came in has 2 guardsmen at the helm, both holding binoculars and seeming to very sternly examine something on approach from the west. Jason, with your robot eyes and such, you may roll me a perception check.
Sounds good.
Zoom. Enhance.
That is a poor roll. That is a 6.
Your zoom apertures have been a bit out of whack lately. So outside of seeing a faint blur on the western horizon, you really can't make out too much at this distance.
It is difficult to see what is going on over in the west. Ocular functions are not in order.
I kind of put my hand out to one of the guards. May I?
If you think you'll be able to see better. And one of the guards kind of just drops you their set of binoculars. You can make me a perception check.
Alright. That is a 10. I'm not doing much better.
You have never held a pair of binoculars before. And while, yeah, you can see the, much like Jason, there is a focus aperture on these binoculars that you have no idea exists.
I can see lots of green.
You can see, like, a faint, like, brown blur and a slightly bigger white blur behind it that seem to be getting slightly bigger.
Well, whatever it is brown and white and it's getting close. I'm gonna close the door.
Fair enough. They begin to dismount from their posts, and they head about halfway through the entrance before pulling out from each side of the main entrance a set of chains. Just like, you sticking around out here to say hi, or you coming in?
I mean, if there's tea. I jokingly say, and I walk in.
Fair enough. Everybody else, will you be joining Relican and walking inside? Or, actually, first off, what are your guys' reactions to something seeming to slowly encroach upon your sacred land? I say sacred land, but you're lodging for the night.
Well, I'd like to hold my hand out for said binoculars.
Yeah, sure. Relican, do you want to give them to her?
Yeet.
And I rolled a 20 on perception.
Ah, beautiful, wonderful. You can make out 2 horses. Horses are an extreme rarity on this island. You've seen them in Battery Port, but other than there, you've never seen them before.
The hell did we ride in on?
What's up?
The hell were we riding?
Yeah.
You guys have horses. Yeah, stupid. Horses are a rarity.
Okay, so we just happened to... Okay, alright. I was just like, but we had horses. I'm so confused.
Okay. And they seem to be pulling a very large carriage. This carriage doesn't look like anything made of wood or anything like what you guys have been riding. It looks like a giant sort of... It looks like a massive structure made almost entirely of metal that these guys are wheeling around. And the... wheels of it aren't made of wood either. They seem to be made of something black and soft enough to tread lightly on solid ground.
You guys do know that that's a carriage coming at us, right?
I do now. I know Cross can't see anything.
No, but I can hear that. What is it? It sounds way too heavy to be a carriage.
It's shaped like a carriage. But I really just... I don't know. Nothing I've ever seen before.
A carriage. Wonderful. I wonder who it is containing.
Somebody coming by this late? It's never good.
Yep. You're never supposed to take folks in after supper. It's always bad luck. Mama always said, never bring in folks after supper.
Now,
No,
Yeah.
sorry. I thought you weren't gonna say anything.
the two guards are kind of still looking at you guys, as though wondering what you guys want to do with this information. They don't seem to want to take any chances. They're pretty inclined to seal the entrance.
I give him a thumbs up on that idea.
Now, the question is, will you be joining them?
Yeah.
In sealing up the gates?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful. So, Ralakan and Venelin, you can roll me some strength checks to just, quickly seal the gates.
Oh, crap.
I'll
Oh,
stick
no.
by Jason.
Woo!
Did you say
14.
a strength check?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Would you require some assistance?
Okay. That's a 13.
Fortunately, the guards rolled just fine, and the four of you managed to close the gates without a problem. You guys watch as you guys pull the chains, this sort of awning-looking bit that sort of encroached over your ingress into the village begins to slowly descend, covering the place. And
It's called a portcullis.
thank you.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. I didn't really know. So
Learning with D&D.
in any case, as it begins to seal, you can see that there are large sections of sort of dirt that have been pushed aside that the giving way of the portcullis allows to sort of drift over it, thus giving it the innocuous look resembling a sand dune.
Don't think they'll get past that easy.
I don't put
And
anything
wh-
past the creatures that are out there during the night.
The portcullis doesn't take more than a minute to fully close, and you can hear the sort of gentle settling of dirt over the end of it to signify that you guys are shacked up pretty tight in here. Typically, that door doesn't open until early the next morning. Some of the townspeople, upon hearing the door seal, decide to sort of pack in from dinner a bit early and go home. Well, to their homes. And you guys can see the sort of communal area begin to thin out a bit. However, the chefs from the Numeric's wing are still very much here and still very much serving food, if you guys still have an appetite after having it ever so slightly interrupted.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna stay by the gate.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jason will be sticking by Venelin.
And Cross.
Cross will be sticking by Jason Venelin.
Wonderful. You guys decide to take up watch at the gate. Something that the guards don't exactly take issue with, but do find rather interesting, considering none of you are official officers or guardsmen of the village, excuse me. And they don't typically get independent volunteers that often. However, about an hour and a half or 2 hours into your watch, suddenly the gate is rammed with a loud thud of clanging steel. It does not seem to sustain any damage, but you manage to hear the loud creaking of metal gears turning before the ram takes place. Well, the ram happens. You know, you guys hear it. And again, the portcullis is entirely unharmed. However, it was a very loud and resounding sound, which woke what few guards decided to take rests from their stupor to sort of like look at it with a very panicked expression.
Can I take a look at what is ramming the portcullis?
But you want to see if you can like get a look outside.
Yeah.
There is a port with which you may look outside, and you can see that carriage that Venolin had mentioned. It seems to have reached the village, and they seem to have turned it in the opposite direction. The actual carriage itself seems to have been turned around such that the horses are pushing it in front of them. And the rear of it seems to have been outfitted with a series of sort of metal guardrails so as to give it a sort of like ramming head. However, the horses do not seem to be exerting enough force to actually like deal damage to the door.
Intruder alert?
Yes, Jay, intruder alert. I'm gonna take a pot shot at it with my longbow if I would be allowed. At the horses.
The horses are behind the carriage now, so they're a bit hard to hit from here.
Shucks. Still gonna try.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So that's a longbow attack.
Mhm.
Natural one. It begins. The
Jay
curse
Saber,
begins.
roll me a d4.
How do I do that in here?
There's a little dice icon in the bottom left. You click that, and you can select your dice.
Got it.
If
I'll
you want to
roll
roll
the
regular
2.
dice,
I don't have regular dice.
fair enough.
I rolled a 2.
You sort of like knock an arrow, and at some point, one of your muscles kind of gets a little twinge, and the arrow kind of like streaks off into the distance. Fortunately, it does not attract the attention of anybody else, as it is an arrow. It's fairly aerodynamic. It doesn't make a lot of noise.
Well, that
But,
didn't happen before.
Definitely not hitting a horse. You-
Yeah, that's my attempt.
The rest of you can hear a slight commotion coming from behind where the horses are. You can hear two main voices. They're just kind of like chattering behind them. Given the horses kind of clopping and the creaking of the carriage itself, you can't really make out too well what they're saying. But there are definitely quite a few people here. The carriage itself looks like it can support the weight / carry a good amount of people.
Can I see? Can I take a look at what these people look like from where I am, or no?
Roll me a perception check.
Got it. That is a 7.
You can make out what look kind of like seafarers' uniforms. They're definitely things that you've seen, like your fellow fishermen wear. You've seen pirates wear them on like long seafaring expeditions and things like that. And one of them you can definitely recognize as something more resembling a captain's uniform.
Anything you of note that you see up there?
Yeah, I see a captain. Ahoy! How can I parlay with you?
There is a, like, not a loudspeaker, but like a port through which you may speak outward from the watch area in the police wing.
Yeah. So I just basically shout out, ahoy, how can I talk to you? I'll help him. I don't know his story. I don't know his life.
The moment he hears the ahoy, the captain immediately turns and makes note of the loudspeaker, as well as the sort of like small vision air, like the device that is being used to allow you to see out there. It's like, and he kind of looks at it quite intently for a moment, not really saying or doing anything. And as he approaches it, you can tell that he seems to be holding what looks like a sword.
I don't like it. I kind of relay the information towards the party and the guardsmen.
Sailors, I thought we were in a wasteland.
Well, as long as there's a river, you can sail anywhere. Sail in a puddle if you're that desperate.
It is a wasteland, but the wasteland's on an island.
He's got me there.
Jason kind of pivots to one of the guards. What should we do? Would you prefer us to attack on sight with extreme prejudice? Or shall we lock down?
Well, it doesn't look like they're breaching the gate anytime soon. We could just wait for them to go away.
Now, let me tell you why that's a bad idea. See, sailors are like fish. They only go one direction, and that's forward. Now, either they get stopped by something big and mean and ugly, us, no offense to Venelin, or they get through and they take what they want.
Yeah, but you're assuming they're pirates or something like that.
I don't trust any sailor that don't respond to ahoy.
At that moment, you see the captain kind of like wrap the pommel of his sword against the against the other end of the speaker. So like, is this two-way? Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed. How can I help you? I shouldn't have said that. Why didn't I say that?
This is gonna be a long night.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's gonna be good.
My name is Garrett Hudson. I'm here on behalf of Baron Tobin Hudson of the docks out west.
Docks out west.
You've never been to the Western Docks before?
I know, here in Battery Port.
Yes, well, We received word that some time ago something may have crashed here. A kind of artifact of some sort. And we've been contracted to retrieve it.
Ral gives Venelin this look, just like, wait, him?
Wait, I'm sorry. You were contracted for what?
We received word from a, let's call him a client of ours, that some kind of potentially dangerous artifact crash landed somewhere around here.
I don't know what you're looking for, but there's no such artifacts around here.
Jason kind of turns to Cross. I do not know of any artifacts that crash landed here since I crash landed here. Wonder what they could be talking about.
Fortunately, you are too far from the speaker for them to hear
Thank
that.
God. Or else you would have blown my deception wide open.
That's immediately why I face palmed at that moment right there.
Now, we have it on good authority that this artifact crashed somewhere nearby.
Well, your good authority's wrong.
He kind of looks into the visual aid and kind of... He's almost entirely convinced that you're full of shit. But not having anything else to go on, he kind of backs up a couple steps. Fair enough. Do me a favor, I'm gonna leave this here. And he pulls out what looks like a sort of like bronze medallion. And he sort of leaves it at the edge of the gate. This'll get you passage into the docks area. Just make the quick trip over here and let me know if you find them or find anything suspect, if you would. We've heard some rather disturbing reports about this thing.
If we see your artifact, we'll be sure to let you know.
Please and thank you. And he kind of tips his hat before getting back into the carriage. It's like, okay, boys, wrap her up. And you see the back of the carriage sort of slide open. Rather than a curtain holding it closed, it seems to be a large metal door, very similar to the portcullis, that slides open, and out come what look like 8 people that immediately unhook the horses from their why am I blanking on the word for,
Harness?
Thank you!
Lead bar?
Alex is having problems with his words tonight.
Yeah, I can't words today. This is great.
The DM is having problems with the word. He can't brain. He has the dumb.
That is indeed the unwrong. So yeah, these 8 guys come barreling out of this carriage to unhook the horses from their harnesses and reorient them before the carriage eventually starts taking off into the distance. The moment I said that, a motorcycle revved at the back of my hand. That was, not gonna lie, that was kind of scary. That scared the crap out of me for a second. Okay. You guys watch intently through binoculars and visual devices as the carriage sort of slowly exits your line of sight, headed back west the way it came. The guards are giving Jason a look.
Well, that ended up a lot better than expected.
They
And
said
takes
you were...
takes note of the guards. How can I help you?
One of them seems to be kind of like making a bunch of histrionic noises as though to say, "See, I knew it. I told you and you didn't believe me." But the other is seemingly saying, "Is there a reason we shouldn't throw you out that gate right now?"
Because he hasn't done anything.
I am more than willing to help this community by any ways possible.
Plus, he kind of weighs a lot.
I mean, they said that they were looking for an artifact, but they didn't even really describe it.
And besides, he's not an artifact. He's a... I hesitate to use the word person, but he's a person.
Oh, thank you.
Just because he speaks differently than the rest of us doesn't mean he's any less who he is. And honestly, we haven't had any more trouble than we normally have around here anyway since he showed up.
The guards are all kind of giving a subtle look at the patchwork done to replace the ceiling of the village. In response to your claim, however, given that it is true, Jason himself has not caused any trouble in the several weeks that he has been here. They kind of dismiss the thought and return to their posts. Though one of them is very clearly giving Jason the look that Dash's teacher gave him in The Incredibles.
Oh god.
It's just like, right there! It's him!
Is the medallion within reach of the portcullis?
It would require you to ever so slightly open it in order to reach it. Like the portcullis... Thankfully, they are way far out of range now. You can't even see them from where you are. So they're at least a good half mile to a mile away.
Jason, would you be so kind?
Of course. As you wish.
Then-
As Jason goes on.
Yeah. Basically, he'd use the levers, or not the levers, the chains to pull the portcullis up just enough that she could get the coin and then close the city back up.
You take the medallion, and it's no bigger than the palm of your hand. However, underneath it seems to be a folded up piece of paper, which, unfolded, appears to depict a schematic of sorts. And the schematic is for what looks like an automaton. It's extremely tall, and the schematics themselves feature a wide array of weapons and other dangerous sorts of things. However, upon real close inspection, you can see that the like very, very bare endoskeleton of it seems to slightly resemble Jason. There's, several layers of what seem to be a whole bunch of instruments of death and destruction that are supposed to be on there, but on a very vague, this thing is very clearly not finished level, it does strikingly resemble Jason.
Just Jason, as he is now, is probably about half the height is shown in the schematics. At least he appears that way.
Mm.
We got a message from the Twitch chat. There we go. Never mind.
Yeah, don't worry. I was handling it.
She got it. I just pulled it up.
But for anybody who's doesn't have it open, the question was, who are the characters in the overlay? Currently the characters in the overlay don't match this game because we use D&D Beyond and it's connected to the main Dire Bear account, and we did not create this particular game through Dire Bear. It is done through our Lore Masters account, so we don't have that connection, so the characters you're seeing there unfortunately are not the ones that we are playing tonight.
Oof.
It happens. Not a big deal. Anyway.
Okay,
Yeah, she's
fair
just
enough.
she's gonna pocket the schematic. Maybe she'll figure out how to unlock all of that later.
That's the thing. It's not that it seems like they're locked. The part of the schematic that references that like seems to resemble Jason doesn't even look like. They look like parts that are supposed to be attached and just aren't. Like, there are very clearly coils in place that are seen to hold in place several rods and concealable weapons that just don't exist on Jason. Jason's torso very clearly resembles, especially in the bottom half, kind of just like a spine with these like rib-like attachments, where on the schematic themselves, there are servos and coils and springs and systems that are attached to those things that just aren't there.
Alright. I'm still pocketing it. I'm gonna figure that out later. Well, now that all that excitement's passed, I don't know about you, but I could use a little meditation. And the rest of you could use a little sleep.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Go find your bed, Ralakan.
Right. Bed. Absolutely. I'll go do that. Ralakan very tiredly goes away to what he assumes is his bed.
I hope you actually do make it to your bed, not just some random person's house that you break into thinking it's yours.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Ralokan, would you like for me to assist you to your bedroom?
Nah, that'd be swell.
Jason kind of hobbles over to Ralakan. Oh, and Cross. Do you have a place to stay for the night?
Not really, no. They just sort of brought me in and...
The officers did tell you that if you headed to any of the churches over in the Sylvania wing, that they would have no problem housing you for the night.
How much space is in the room that I normally get?
What's up?
How much space is in the room that I normally get?
It is decently spacious. It's the kind of room that they would afford a normal villager, so it's enough for you to hold most of your other stuff, as well as like a desk for you to work at in case you're doing that sort of work. However, there is only one bed, and there's not a lot of room for another one.
That's fine. Cross, if you like, I guarantee you a bed. You can use mine.
Oh, well, I don't want to impose, madam.
No. None of that. None of that. My name is Venelin. Please don't call me madam. That makes me sound old.
Venelin. Okay. Well, I could do that then. Yeah.
How old is Fenelon again?
I mean, she's technically in her 80s, but I mean, she's an elf, so.
Yeah, no, I get you. That's
So-
not very old for the elves.
So
That's
still
like
a minor.
I wouldn't say a minor. I mean, she goes out on her own, hunts, does the whole adventuring thing.
she's of drinking age.
Yeah. She's a young adult.
87 is a legal drinking age for elves.
Wait a second. We're not having this conversation.
No, we're not.
We haven't even gotten to a dungeon to put the bar in front of. We're not having this conversation.
Not this time, please.
Not this time, please, no.
Please, no, not again.
The year is
Venelin-
3756. I don't think there are bars in front of dungeons anymore.
I mean, you say that. Venelin is going to offer, her shoulder to Cross. Basically just for him to put his hand on her shoulder so she can lead him to where she's staying.
Okay.
Okay.
Jason will offer the same to Relican.
Ralcan just slumps. Just
Now you have to tell me where you live.
that's work.
Jason stays exact. He just stands totally still.
Ralcan eventually mumbles where he properly lives.
Then
It
he
took
takes
him
you
a
there.
minute. It took him a few minutes longer than it needed to.
Oh my god.
And after Jason drops Relican home, he will go back to his utility closet.
Oh,
Okay. You guys don't really need to take a long rest because, like, you guys haven't really done anything worthy of it. However, you guys arise in the morning to quite a commotion. The early morning of today's dawn in Madengard is quite energetic. It seems as though the elders have called a meeting in the communal area, and most of the village seems to be on their way there to hear what they have to say.
Well, Cross, you better stick with me.
okay.
The elders of Madengard are a strange and reclusive bunch. They are voted into power by their representative constituents from each wing of the village. So the Sylvania wing has an elder, the Aces wing has an elder, the police wing has an elder, and the the numerics wing has an elder. And among the four of them, they choose somebody to sort of be a sort of grand elder that sort of watches over everything. And you can see that the the police wing's elder seems to have called a meeting.
Ral is gonna head over there, but he's gonna first take a look at I think it was the numerics wing that has the cafeteria.
Yes, it is. They do have, like, the breakfast suite is, ready. If you want to,
Yeah.
grab something quick for breakfast.
Is there coffee?
There is, but it's very much the, Matrix Cypher brand coffee, where it's good for two things: degreasing engines and killing brain cells.
Who needs brain cells? Fucking not Ral, that's for damn sure.
It is... You could not compare it to any coffee of the current day. It is not very good. However, it will definitely, without a doubt, pep you up and get you ready for what the world has to bring you.
Ral thinks it's perfectly fine and delicious.
Would Jason have ever experienced any of these kind of town meetings or assemblies before?
They had one the day after you showed up as kind of a judgment on whether or not they wanted to accept you as a member of the village. And being as you have been extremely benevolent to pretty much everybody you have ever come across, by popular demand, the villagers asked that you stay.
Well, if Jason has been to that meeting, then Jason will go to this meeting.
Venelin, you were here for that meeting specifically, but other than that, you have never experienced one of these before. And once the lion's share of the village has shown up, the police wing's elder sort of takes his hand and gently presses it against his neck, sort of where his vocal cords are. And you can tell that he's using some sort of magic, as immediately his voice begins to boom in one audible enough to be heard throughout the area. Citizens of Marangard, last night, no doubt, you were woken by a presence from outside our gates. They seem to have been a group of individuals hailing from an area known as the Docks, west of here. And they seem to have taken note of the goings-on in our village, and I would like to hand over control of this brief to our lieutenant. Mr. Crowley, if you would. He sort of removes his hand from his neck and sort of places it gently on the neck of this man who is very clearly in what looks like a lieutenant's uniform. He goes, for those of you who are just staying the night, or those of you who have not met me, I am Lieutenant Isaac Crowley, second in command of the police wing. Last night, we were contacted by a group of individuals contracted from the docks to the west. They seem to have been alerted to the presence of what they described as a potentially dangerous artifact that, according to them, crash-landed near our village. Given the circumstances of the last few weeks, I believe that we have no choice but to presume that the artifact in question is one of our newest villagers, an automaton who goes by the name of Jason. There's a bit of a murmur in the crowd as that sort of news circulates through. According to these men, they were contracted to retrieve the artifact and deliver it to their client, who is currently residing in the docks. Their description of him implies that he may or may not be a danger, either to himself or to other people. And so, we are leaving it to you to decide whether or not we want to acquiesce to these demands. We ask that all villagers please contact their elders no later than by morning tomorrow with your answer to this missive. With that, you are dismissed. Enjoy breakfast, and enjoy the rest of your day. You see the lieutenant and the captain kind of go to consult the police wing's elder quickly. And they're kind of flanked by a couple of more officers as the rest of the townspeople just sort of like go and start getting themselves breakfast.
I don't know. I don't feel particularly well about most of this nonsense. Can I roll insight just to like see if there's like if he's actually full of shit? Pardon my language.
Yeah, you can roll insight.
That is a 12.
Most of the stuff he said was pretty much one for one to what you guys heard from the captain outside, and could reasonably be construed from whatever the guards might have told the lieutenant or the captain over the course of the last 8 to 10 hours. Though, the bit about the artifact being explicitly dangerous, while yes was mentioned by the captain, did seem a bit tacked on. You don't think he's lying, but being of the police wing, and given the police wing's already existing ambivalence towards Jason's staying in the village, you're pretty sure that he was engaging in just a slight bit of fear-mongering.
Just a small amount.
Yeah.
Real small.
Now, is the party all grouped together, or are we all just kind of like at separate areas of this?
At this point, I would have assumed that you guys kind of like were distant and sort of looked around for and eventually found each other as this meeting was going on.
Yeah.
So by the time the crowd is splitting up, you guys have reformed up.
I do wonder why they want me. I have no programming for any sort of threats. I am not one to initiate violence.
That may not be exactly true. It looks like you can be equipped for violence, but you're missing every single attachment for it. So...
Interesting.
Jason, roll me a history check.
Okay. Pretty great. 9.
Oof. You remember being mostly in pieces when you landed And the process being used to repair you being pretty much them searching through what pieces of you they could find and reasonably use.
I see.
So, you are also aware that there is probably a good amount of you that was not put onto your body when they repaired you.
Good to know.
However, you have no idea what those things are or where they were. Or like where they were put when the wreckage was cleaned up.
Well, now that I think about it, I am a few arms short of an automaton. Though it does bother me to think that I could potentially be equipped for violence.
Well, don't think about it as violence. Think about it for defense.
Defense.
I don't know why I just had the idea of like a very religious robot, but the Bible isn't the Bible, it's like Isaac Asimov's Laws of Robotics.
Hmm.
Well, either way, I believe you may have a point there, Ralokan. I would like to defend you. Don't know if I can do so. I don't not know if I can do so through violence, but either way, I will defend the ones that are in my programming and in my life.
Fair enough. Maddie, to clue you in really quickly, Jason remembers that there were several pieces of him that were either broken or otherwise detached from him in his crash landing, much of which may not have necessarily been reattached to him when they pieced him back together. Though he does not know what was done with the wreckage of his crash landing.
I got a feeling I know who might.
Oh,
Are you going to leave us in suspense?
The broker.
Oh, the person that the captain was talking about. Yeah, maybe they know what's going on then.
The broker handles all many transactions that go in and out of this village. If anybody's turned in anything, it's going to have been to him. It's a good place to start.
Well, shall we go pay them a visit?
Pay them a village.
Pay them a village.
Yes, absolutely.
A quantity sum of the village, yes.
Give the broker the village.
Broker already owns the village.
This village is now a subsidiary of Vaught International. Oh god!
No!
Oh god! I'm sorry. Oh god. Don't worry, they don't exist in 3756 either.
Thank God.
Okay, so we're paying a visit to the broker.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys head to the numerics wing. And the broker seems to be embroiled in his usual morning routine, which is handing out jobs to the various independent contractors as well as village workers who would like some things to be done today, whether that be hunting, repair work, planting, growing, participating in the day or the night's entertainment, or otherwise. He's got quite a line, as it is fresh-faced early in the morning.
It's a good thing I got coffee.
If anyone wishes to get breakfast, I will be sure to hold the line.
No, I'm good. I'll wait here with you. I'm not too happy with that particular village announcement. I don't know if I trust the village with you alone at the moment.
Understood.
So is everybody sticking around on the line, or is anybody leaving to get breakfast at this time?
I've already got coffee and I'm still nursing it.
Fair enough. Cross, do you want to get breakfast, or do you want to stick around?
I'll stick around for now.
Fair enough. As you guys progress along the line takes about 20 minutes to get through entirely. And over the course of that, you can hear many different series of chatter, with most of it revolving around the Jason question. And thankfully, it seems that most of the village is very partial to keeping you around, Jason. They very much enjoy you. They enjoy your company. They think you're a very nice person. And they have never known you to have any capacity for violence whatsoever. The closest thing to harming anybody you have ever been has been chopping some fruit. And eventually, you guys reach the front of the line. Like, wonderful! You're back. You brought Jason with you.
Hello there.
I got a good couple of hunting jobs I can give you. And he kind of just immediately goes to, like, check his ledger to see what's, still up to be done. Let's see, what you in the mood for? Game hunting, monster hunting, exploring? What are you thinking?
What you got for exploration?
Exploration? We haven't sent a party out to the labyrinth in some time. Village is supposed to send some people out to the labyrinth to clear it out every once in a while, make sure nothing big shows up.
We're also looking for pieces of Jason that may or may not have been put back on him when he arrived at the village.
Pieces of Jason? You mean from the cleanup?
Yes.
Let me see. And he goes to get another book, and you could hear some boos coming from the line behind you. Hey, hurry it up back here!
Wait your turn.
After about a half minute, he comes with a book. It seems like the broker keeps very meticulous details of all the jobs that he gives out or completes, or, contracts to independent people. And he checks a book that seems to record all of his jobs that he's given out from the past couple of weeks. And just, here we go. We had a couple of contractors from the Heights before. Yeah. we had a couple of contractors from the Heights here at the time who were happy to help with the cleanup, but it looks like the police wing stepped in partway through once it started turning close to nighttime, and they didn't want Indies getting hurt while, they had stuff to protect. So a lot of the cleanup over several of the days was overseen by the police wing and not just by the Indies. Though I can always reach out to them, see what I can dig up.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll put out a line, see if I can get over there. As for the wreckage, I believe that some of the tinkerers over in the back of the numerics wing had been sifting through it for a bit, but ain't find nothing to note.
Okay.
Anything else might have been taken by the Indies or taken by the police wing. We don't really discriminate based on, all the old rubble and dust and dirt and what have you that gets left over.
Of course.
But as for these jobs, and he kind of tinkers a little bit at the edges of his active ledger.
Alright. You said exploration?
Yeah, we got a couple of exploration jobs. Police wing wanted a party to see if they could make their way over to the area near those docks out west to see what was going on over there, what kind of setup they got, considering we ain't really been over there in a while. And like I said earlier, a party's gotta get set up and make sure the labyrinth's still cleared out.
I'd rather take the labyrinth if it's all the same to you guys.
What's the labyrinth?
The labyrinth is another set of docks in the far east. A lot of old sunken ships, a lot of scaffolding and cranes and old containers and things like that. Lots of good places for night creatures to sort of hole up in. A lot of the hunting and fishing parties like to use it as a secondary dock when they're not feeling too good about Battery Port or the Heights. It's not really owned by anybody, and it's usually safe, long as we got regular parties heading over there to clear it out every couple of days.
Well, considering yesterday's events, maybe we should go to the labyrinth instead of west.
I reckon that's a great idea.
We'll take the labyrinth job. Broker.
Wonderful.
What he said, and he kind of just, he writes your names, all of you, before getting to... Kid, you going with him?
Uh-huh.
What's your name again? Chris?
Cross.
Gotcha. And he writes all four of your names in his ledger and then just kind of hits it with a big blue stamp. Looking forward to hearing the job's done.
As soon as we get back.
Jason rotates his head towards Venelin. So, will I be joining you on this mission, or shall I be helping out around the village while you are out?
No, I think you'll be joining us.
Oh, wonderful! I've never had a mission before. What should I bring? Shall I bring any food, water, supplies?
We'll go get outfitted.
Wonderful.
We might need to get you a weapon or two, so...
Indeed.
Okay. Since you guys need to get outfitted, you guys head to the police wing. The police wing is the home of the village's armory. It is where any hunters, both village and independent, may accrue some basic weaponry / armor to make sure they don't get afflicted with the not alive.
Not afflicted with the not alive. Alright.
You know, my grandpappy never went out. He didn't go to the armory. He didn't go to the police wing. He came back with a small case of deadness.
My condolences.
You can't really cure that.
I disagree, but... I've seen what out there
You
has
can
to
cure
offer.
deadness?
No. Technically? And it's not me. It's whatever's out there.
Touche.
You hear the familiar voice of Lieutenant Crowley. I'm pretty sure the vampires have found a cure for deadness. What can I do you for, Vanilla? And he kind of sees Jason behind you.
Hello there.
And it's not really a scowl, but he's kind of what's he doing here?
We need to be outfitted. We're gonna go clear out the labyrinth.
Him too.
No, I'm
Their
just
problem.
bringing him along because I like how he looks. Yes, him too. I sure in the heck don't trust him with you people. Especially not after the crap that you were spouting up there. He's been nothing but good to you guys. And you're gonna go out with the, oh, he might be dangerous. Fuck you, Lieutenant.
I do apologize for that outburst.
Listen here, Vanillin, I have the utmost respect for you as an independent. However, it's my job as second in command to be privy to any potential threats to the well-being of the village. And we've no idea if these people are hostile, if Jason himself has the capacity for hostility. So,
Your real thoughts?
He can't share them with us.
my real thoughts are that Jason nearly exposed this village to the outside world at a very critical time.
I do apologize.
And not 2 weeks after he's been here, we have emissaries from a town we've never heard of coming here with a glorified battering ram asking for him.
No, they didn't really ask. They kind of demanded. Look,
All I'm saying
Lieutenant,
is
I
it
know you're
warrants
doing your
suspicion, and it warrants my concern and the concern of the entire village.
I know that you're doing your job.
I do apologize for the inconveniences.
No.
However,
no,
I would
Jason,
do whatever
stop
I can to help defend.
Cinnamon roll. Literal cinnamon roll, Lieutenant. And you think he's dangerous? Look, I respect your position. I really do. Can we get outfitted to go to the labyrinth so that this is no longer a problem?
He kind of gives a sigh. As though clearly wanting to say your most recent spring of expletives kind of belies your statement of I support you, I understand your position. But without actually saying that, he goes, "Fine, what do you need?
Well, we're going to need a weapon for Jason.
I do need defense mechanisms.
Yeah, you
Perhaps-
seem like a pretty hardy one. What do you need? Shield, sword, axe. What do you need?
Maybe an axe and a shield.
Hmm.
Do you think that will help along with our adventure?
Yes, I do, Jason.
At the very least, it'll keep your more fragile bits from getting hurt, and give you something of an edge. And the lieutenant sort of waves over to one of the other handlers, who kind of leaves for a moment and comes back with a decently sized circular shield for you, as well as an axe for you to hold.
Lovely.
I'm looking at the hand axe in your character sheet, and I like to just think that just your hand turns into one.
Now, see, here
I
I
was
was
Think that
thinking...
too.
I was thinking more like the Sekiro prosthetic, where it's just like in his arm, and then he just flicks his wrist out, and it goes into his hand to go back into his wrist. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
kind of cool.
I think we're going to have to find that part in the wasteland somewhere.
I believe it.
But for now, he just has like these little clamp hands, and you just kind of like stick the weapon like a Lego man and a
Yeah.
accessory.
Oh, he is a life-size Lego man, and I love it.
I'm not sure how I feel about this personally.
We just turn his head around and there's just a big smiley face written on it.
No! I'm going to see that in my nightmares.
You can paint his face; it will be fine.
Cross, do you need anything, dear?
Hmm.
Wait, hold on. How are you even going to be able to fight?
I can defend myself.
You found him in the woods, didn't you?
I did, but I've never seen him fight.
I mean, sure, but he's what? 15, 16? There's no way he survived in those woods, even blind, without knowing how to take care of himself.
Fair enough. Okay.
And she's spitballing the age, because she really does not know how old Cross is. And she's just like, maybe?
Just suddenly a pair of pointed ears spring out from under his cap.
Well, she hasn't seen him without the cap on, so...
Fair enough.
So she has no idea he's an elf.
So, Cross, will you be requisitioning anything?
Hmm. No.
Alright, we're gonna need enough rations for the three of us for a trip to the labyrinth.
Rations! You can ask the numeric swing, we'll give you whatever you need. Though clearing out the labyrinth shouldn't take more than... Given your track record, I'm pretty sure you could get it done today.
Yes, but I'd rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them.
Fair enough. Ralakan, will you be grabbing anything from the police wing's armory?
Short on arrows. Did you get me more?
Yes, of course. And they give you a sort of like a waistbound quiver with 20 arrows.
Excellent. I have 39 arrows.
Now the
Called 19 arrows short on you.
the wasteland, is it kind of like your typical post-apocalyptic desert Dust Bowl wasteland?
It is very desert Dust Bowl for most of it. Now,
Gotcha.
for context, the labyrinth is on the very eastern edge of the island. The docks presumably on the very western edge. Whereas Battery Port is about 2 miles south. And the ruins start about 2 miles up as you get to Combus Park and Combus Forest.
Jason's gonna quickly go back up to his little room up at the top, and grab the carpet that's there and kind of put it around his torso, to kind of have like a dust guard. Dust ruins mechanics.
It does. That hard drive? Bet you it was dusty.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I'm so sad.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Lieutenant Crowley, you said your rank was, sir?
That's true. Yes, Cross.
Well, you said earlier at the announcements that there was going to be a vote for Jason tomorrow, right?
As of now, that is still the plan, yes.
Does Jason have to be here for that?
The vote will be decided at the end of the day tomorrow. So, provided... No, Jason does not have to be here. Though, as a member of the village, his vote counts as much as anybody else's.
Okay. I'd like to roll an insight check on him.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. That is 22.
Poof!
Ooh.
Crowley seems to have a genuine concern for what happens in the village. However, you feel that his particular brand of caution and slight vitriol towards Jason might have a bit of an ulterior motive to it. You were also kind of put off by the particular tacking on of the idea that Jason was inherently dangerous. And you're pretty sure that there may or may not be something else going on here.
Well, so long as his vote also gets counted, that's okay then. But I don't think we would be that long.
Well, if that's all you need, you can head over to the gate, and I believe the numerics wing has ration handouts for all the contract workers going outside today.
Okay. Thank you again, sir.
You guys head down from the police ring towards the gate. And as he said, the numerics wing has sequestered a part of their sort of like, eateries force to the gate to act as people handing out rations to the contract workers. There's big old stash of preserved food that they seem to be handing out to any individual or party who's going out.
Venelin is going to secure 3 people's worth of rations for basically just what shouldn't be longer than 1 day's worth of work.
Okay, so they give you they give you a day's worth of rations for each of you. So you get a day's worth. Ralakan gets a day's worth. Cross gets a day's worth. God, my mouth is all over the place today. My apologies. And I take it you'll be needing your carriage back.
Yep.
Okie doke. Just according to this, you got the labyrinth job, right?
Yes, sir.
Just be careful over there. We got the few times that things do go wrong over in the labyrinth, it's usually because the horses don't make it. So just be careful while you're out there.
Always am.
Okay. Who's piloting? Suffice it to say, Ralakan is scouting.
I'll drive.
We're gonna let the blind kid drive.
It worked for Aqua.
I would, but I don't actually have land vehicles as a proficiency. That's not in my skill set, which is why I ride a horse by myself.
Would this be one of the first time Jason has ever seen a horse? At least he can recall.
Seen a horse up close? Definitely. Oh god.
Horses are truly fascinating. He
Don't
Kind
get
of-
too close to it. It can kick your chest in.
duly noted. Jason kind of like slowly backs away.
Now, this is a dilemma. Now, would you like to pray to the animal handling gods that you can drive this carriage? Or would you like to see if you can conscript a guardsman to come with you? A guardsman will likely take a percentage of your reward.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm
I'm-
sure they will.
I mean,
Jason can learn. He's curious.
we've also been warned that the horses don't normally make it.
Don't always make it. He
Yeah.
specifically did mention that was something that, like, only happened on the chance occasions that, like, they'd left the labyrinth alone for too long. But you're not sure how long the labyrinth's been left alone. A lot of things have been kind of in disarray since Jason's arrival.
Right.
Hmm.
Might as well just get ourselves a guard if we can, just literally to handle the horses. Oh.
Can I be right back just for a quick second? I do need to get something small to munch on.
Not a problem.
actually, thinking back to what Mr. Crowley was saying, was there anything happening here when Jason first arrived? Like before he did? Because Mr. Crowley was talking about how it was an inopportune time, meaning that there was probably something going wrong.
To be fair, with everything that's happened in the last 50, 60 years or so, having a hole in the ceiling of your village is not really an opportune time for that to happen at any time. But I honestly, I don't know. I came back to the village the day that he crashed.
Hmm.
And it just happened to be in Center Square when he did. Which is part of the reason why he didn't wind up just getting thrown out.
And I do greatly appreciate it.
I see. Okay. Maybe we could look into that later then.
For now, let's see. I wonder if he's off duty. She is going to go looking for one of her favorite guards, who typically does this. If she needs to go clear the labyrinth out with some other people, this is the guard she asks. Because she's been doing this for a while. Like, this is not new to
No.
her.
You've been in and out of here for a while. Between your trips from the Heights down to here, down to Batteryport, down to here,
Yeah.
you know this place pretty well.
She's got that one guard that she always go to, like, to ask for assistance like this.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you're all good. And you find that guard.
I return.
Ian seems to be sharpening his longsword.
Well, now I don't know if I should be concerned or if I should be happy that you're already preparing for what I'm about to ask.
Ah, Velen, what do you need?
I need somebody to drive the carriage.
All this time riding horses, you'd have thought you'd learn to handle two of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm normally going out by myself. I have no use for a carriage.
One day, you're gonna kill something too big to bring back.
I like to think I know when to pick my battles. But you're right. One of these days I am going to kill something too big to bring back on my own.
And on that day, I will happily collect a share of your finder's fee. And he kind of just shakes your hand. Like, he doesn't even, wait to see if your hand is out for a handshake.
No, he just takes it. And she's just, yep.
Yoink.
Mm-hmm. What's his name? Because I
His
feel
name
like
is-
I should know this.
His name is Ian Halsey. He's one of the more reliable ones when it comes to handling the horses and wild animals and stuff. You know from just making small talk with him that before he was part of the police wing, he was in the numerics wing as an animal trainer as well as a cook.
Okay,
Oh,
and
Tim's
she'll...
handy dandy notebook.
Huh?
Tim's got his handy dandy notebook.
Oh. And then she'll, walk him back over to the group where we're next to the carriage with the horses.
Sorry, I'm gonna be right back. Sorry about that.
Yep.
And she introduces everybody to Guardsman Ian.
Ah, it's Casey and Carolyn. And he kind of just, walks up to the horses and kind of like pets them a bit. This is a police wing carriage. He knows most of the horses they have. It's like, Ian Halsey, at your service. And he kind of like holds his hand out.
Ral shakes it. It is slimy because it is morning.
He kind of looks at his hand and
What?
and he'll extend the opposite hand for a fist bump to cross. It's slimy because it's morning. Do you sleep in a seaweed wrap? Do you take like an algae bath or something?
I need to. I gotta keep these pores fresh somehow.
Do you just like lather yourself in Desitin?
You know what? Venolin has regrets. I didn't think I was gonna say that episode 1, but Venolin has regrets. And Tim just looks traumatized.
I think my favorite thing is Tim look of just complete and utter bewilderment. Like, it's slimy because it's morning.
Can someone clip that, please?
You said it so natural.
Yeah, you were straight-faced and everything. Like, this was just, it was a fact. It's slimy because it's
100%.
morning, and I just...
What did I miss?
Ralakan is slimy because it's morning.
That's just how it is.
That's it.
That's it.
The Sultan lives in Zanzibar now. That's just where he lives.
Oh my god. And she has introduced Guardsman Ian to the rest of the party. Because he will be coming along to deal with our horses.
Ian Halsey has been conscripted by Venolin to pilot the carriage to and from the labyrinth.
Oh my sides.
Cool.
Oh man, I like that we got one of those on session 1. Didn't expect it. I thought we were going to be pretty easy going, but holy!
It's really what we call setting the tone.
Oh yeah, grim, dark, post-apocalypse,
That apparently moist.
moist
Oh,
fish man.
okay, one of those.
He's out.
And Kron seems to have tripped and snapped his neck on a rock.
I'm actually dying.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm good.
No, you're good. We're all good. There was a very fun, mild derailing. So you got your guardsmen to pilot the carriage. You got your rations. You got your requisitioned weapons / armor / defense mechanisms.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it is time to be off. As the guards begin to lift the word that you definitely said that I definitely remember.
Portcullis?
And what?
Portcullis.
Portcullis, there we go. The word that I definitely remembered.
I mean,
100% calculated.
the way that you made it sound like it sounded more like a shutter, like a big metal shutter that kind of like falls down. But Portcullis, metal shutter. One just has more holes in it.
Garage door.
Honestly.
It is more of a solid thing. Now I'm looking up pictures of them, and I'm just like, yeah, no, it is more of a solid thing. There aren't really like holes in it, except a few to see out of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretty much. And it opens to grant you egress from the village of Medingard.
You can remember the word egress, but
You know what?
cannot remember the word portcullis.
Don't question it.
I don't even think I've ever known the word portcullis. It's one of those weird words. It's like, when I do a campaign in Victorian London, I'll remember the word portcullis.
Fair enough.
So we
Let's
load
get a
up and
move.
move out.
Yes, you load up, you're out. You're out to get this bread, eat this wheat, and obtain this grain.
Nice.
It is a pretty short trip to the eastern end by carriage. The carriage affords you a speed that you would not get traveling on foot. And it is a healthy change of pace for you, Cross, who are kind of pretty used to walking pretty much everywhere. And it doesn't take you more than an hour and a half to reach the far eastern end, where, as you guys approach, the horizon begins to become lined with a whole bunch of just abandoned structures to signal your approach upon the labyrinth. Madeline, you've been here before, though not necessarily on mission. The labyrinth is very true to its name. It is a massive, sprawling network of old containers, half-sunken ships, cranes and scaffolding, just laid across the entire thing, with numerous points of entry and exit that make it the perfect place for people and monsters to hide.
Wonderful.
And as the broker said, the village likes to send a party there at least once or twice a week to ensure that it is at the very least cleared out of monsters. They maintain a soft ambivalence towards squatters, as what can you do? It's a wasteland out here.
Yeah.
And as you guys start to exit the actual wastes area, there is a very softly, not paved, but at the very least outlined road leading to the entrance to the labyrinth. Well, the main entrance. It is the largest one, and it is the only one that is accessible to carriages. And it leads you down a long hill until you are finally greeted by the large metal arch that is the main entrance. And you can hear several sounds of howling and scampering and pitter-pattering from all corners of this place. It is extremely big, and it's a lot of ground for even just the four of you to cover.
Well, we could set a trap.
Another thing that we could do is... See, I had an idea, but I lost it. Sorry.
Would you like me to find it?
Jason is also Amelia Bedelia, guys. Make sure to keep that in your notes.
Hang on.
Oh, and now he's going to put in his notes that Jason is Amelia Bedelia because Tim doesn't get sarcasm either.
Actually, I don't think I can. I think I lost my pen during that laughing fit.
No.
Beautiful. Spaz. Sorry.
That's not me. That's not
Sorry,
me.
that was me.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah, I was about to say those are
they're looking for both of you.
Listen, just because I'm slimy doesn't mean the crime is happening behind me, okay?
fantastic.
Watching me.
So,
I'll behave. I'm
what
sorry.
would be the best place to find a good trap area, as it were?
Well, near the water is a good outcropping that's a lot of sort of like destroyed containers that kind of center on one area. The few times that I have seen monsters around here, they usually use it as a kind of staging ground for territorial disputes and whatnot. I've seen duels between squatters happen there so often. And we could always take some of this meat I brought with me. And he kind of like goes into the back of the carriage and shows you that he brought like some meat to act as bait.
Hmm.
Hmm. Well,
Alternatively, if you wanted to cover more ground more quickly, we could probably unharness the horses, and two of you could ride them through. They're hardy enough to hold two of you each.
see, I just got another idea in my brain noodle. We could tie the meat that we're using as bait on this here rope that I got. Got like 50 feet of rope. And we could run it through the labyrinth and then drag it out, kind of like we're fishing. Y'all
What a
are looking at me
wonderful
like I
idea.
have a second head.
You want to drag meat through the labyrinth.
No, of course not. I'm just saying.
Not
if
you.
You wanted to.
Not you.
If you. Oh.
Ralakan? I'm sorry, did I hear that right? Did you actually just suggest that we drag meat through the labyrinth?
I would be more than happy to drag meat.
Can we stop saying the words dragging meat?
This is me behaving, I swear.
Okay.
I would be all over this if it was Sunday. But it's not Sunday.
It's not Sunday. Not yet.
Not Sunday.
Not Sunday.
Let's okay.
Okay,
that-
you want to drag the meat that we brought for bait through the labyrinth.
Yeah, we just sprint in on the horse and then run back out.
And attract every hungry thing in the labyrinth at the same time.
I may not have thought this through. I
Well,
will
you
be the
thought to
first
te-
to admit it.
well, you thought to tell us before you just went and did it. So, does that count for something?
It does. I'd like to think so anyway.
I got stories about a kobold that doesn't. But that's besides the point.
So our two plans as of now are either find a place to bottleneck them into and ambush them, or use the horses to cover a bit of extended ground.
Well, the crush container is usually a good spot. Given that there's 4 of us, and usually parties coming out here range from 6 to 10, I think bottlenecking is probably going to be our best bet.
Fair
Now, you
enough.
said there's multiple, multiple entrances, correct?
Oh yeah, there are 3 main entrances. The one you came into is like the cardinal west entrance. There is also a northwest entrance and a southwest entrance. The north and southwest entrances are not accessible for large vehicles like your carriage. And the southwest entrance, I will say this for Venelin, was recently caved during a dispute. So while it is still technically viable, it is a lot harder to navigate.
I like the idea of them coming to us.
Alright. Well, Ian, it looks like we're in your debt just a little bit more. The meat. If you
Yeah,
please.
feel free to take it. It's in the carriage. And he just kind of like sits in the front of the carriage. I'll stay here and look after these 2 fine little beauties.
Appreciate it. And Venelin will grab a hold of the meat, and then we're gonna go look for the perfect place to bottleneck.
Okay.
Lovely.
I say I'm gonna carry the meat, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it out of the carriage, and then I'm gonna hand it to Jason,
Thank you.
so that he
I
feels
will-
useful.
I will keep it in my chest cavity.
Oh, that's gross. Because I can't imagine that this meat smells too particularly great, but it's still meat.
It has been preserved. Like, as you take a look at it, it's been preserved pretty much to the standards of what, like, you would do to preserve it before refrigerating it. It's kind of, like, wrapped up and there's salt and
Okay.
vinegar and things like that.
So something that we could technically cook if we needed to.
I don't... Worst case, if, like, you didn't end up using it, you could definitely cook and eat it.
Okay.
But it's also fresh enough that, like, it could be used as very viable bait for a monster.
Right.
However, it is currently wrapped up so that its smell does not permeate anywhere. Because if it was out in the open, it would attract some attention. You guys... What's your thing? Madeline, you're the one who has been here before, so I'm going to ask you to roll me a history check with advantage. To see if you remember the layout to get to the crushed circle. Yeah, I would say it's reasonable that you remember the layout. This place is very true to its name, as all manner of corridors made out of all manner of materials, from wood to steel to other metals to pipings that look big enough to hold you guys very handily, are weaving their way through this labyrinth. However, Venelin seems to remember the layout at least proficiently enough to get you guys to where you need to go without an issue. Every so often, Ralakan will look down a sewer pipe, or Jason will find a particular storage container interesting and want to examine its depths, only for Venelin to kind of just tap them on the shoulder and be like, hey, this way.
Oh,
Do not get separated. You will get lost.
It's called the Labyrinth for a reason.
And I may or may not come back for you.
oh,
Nothing-
no, I'm lost.
Nothing like conditional support to forge a bond between party members. And
She
after
loved
about
me just as much as my papa did.
Yikes.
Oof.
After about 20 minutes walk, you guys reach the end of the dock, which finds you guys in this very large clearing. The clearing's about 40 feet-ish in diameter, and it is surrounded by what look like the crushed / partially buried remains of what look like a bunch of very old storage containers. They are of varying sizes and shapes, some circular, some rectangular, but they are all in some state of disrepair that would make them pretty unusable, even the ones that you may be inclined to try and dig out. However, behind them are a massive network of fully intact storage containers that could contain anything from treasure to squatters to monsters to any combination of the three. And the sounds of howling and screeching and claws scratching against metal has not been more ubiquitous than in this clearing. There is a small outcrop near the dock where there is kind of like a stairwell down to what looks like where you would kind of like anchor a boat. It's like one of those areas where you'd like come up from in the case of low tide if you were anchoring a boat someplace. And that seems like the most viable place to hide were you to set this trap, as no particular container in which you could hide has any guarantee of not containing something you may have to fight. Alternatively, there are also a set of large, sort of rusted out cranes that overlook this area as well, that the more nimble among you could very easily climb, though their old and dilapidated state may not lend them too well to being supportive of multiple people.
Now, how long do we have to stay in here? This place gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Till it's cleared up.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
And then Venelin's gonna set the trap.
Okay, so are you just gonna like lay the meat out and have us wait, or are you gonna like actually set something up with like some knives or a bear trap or something?
I have a net.
Let's see.
If you
Yeah.
wanted to use your rope and maybe climb one of those cranes, you could construct a net trap.
Let's try that. Do I need to roll anything for it?
You can roll me a survival check.
Oh, good.
You're proficient in that.
13.
Yeah, you managed to construct a very basic net trap without something like very heavy to act as a counterweight. You're pretty sure you could just like do the Assassin's Creed thing and like jump down to set it off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can fly down for after that, yeah.
So you and Venelin get to setting up this meat trap. You set up a net. Venelin kind of unwraps and places some of the meat there. And you decide to fly up and sort of hold on to the bit of the rope that you can from atop the screen. Jason and Cross, what are you doing?
Good question, because I am carrying all the meat, so I'm probably following Venelin along for most of this.
It's like every time, like, you guys are just going every couple of paces to set some meat down. Like,
Yeah, just
Ooh, a piece of meat. Ooh, a piece of meat. Ooh, a piece of meat.
Ooh, a piece of
just little pieces of meat that lead to our trap. It'll be perfect.
happy little clouds.
Cross will do his best to not stand in the trap itself,
Fair enough.
but will patiently sort of wait by it, though.
Okay. So, by sort of like hearing where everybody's messing around and the sort of associated noises with setting up this trap, you get a feel for where the trap is and where to avoid stepping.
Okay.
And after about 10 minutes or so, you have yourselves a pretty decent trap.
Lovely.
Yay!
And then it's all about waiting.
Yeah.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, you're a robot. You don't. You can just go inert until something triggers your sensors and just go like. Now, it is smack dab in midday right now. So there's not a lot of super duper activity out in the open. But after about an hour and a half, I'm going to say, you guys finally get a bite as looks like a large wolf kind of comes out of a container, sort of sniffing out the meat. And eventually it finds the clearing with the like large bit of meat. And it seems to bark outwards to the northwest. And out come a small pack of wolves. Those of you on high can count 6 wolves in total. The rest of them go kind of like sniffing the rest of the meat surrounding the trap, kind of just to make sure it's good. They'll like nibble on a couple of bits, and once they verify that it's good, 3 of them start eating some of the meat that is in the trap, while another 3 kind of circle around waiting their turn.
Are they close to springing the trap?
They're in the trap. That's the thing. You have to spring
You
the
have
trap
to
by
spring the
jumping
trap.
down from the crane.
Well, I
That's the
will
issue. You don't
jump
have-
down.
Okay.
I'm springing the trap.
You jump straight down with this whole thing. And immediately it just sort of swoop, and the 3 wolves that were eating the meat immediately get caught and they get scooped up into this net trap. And as you hit the floor, you kind of immediately tie the end of the rope down to like the end of one of the storage containers to kind of keep them up there. The wolves, well, the 3 remaining wolves, are not particularly happy about this. And I am going to give... No. I'm going to let everybody roll for initiative.
Okay.
Right on.
It's time.
First initiative First, like, actual initiative.
Fucker.
That is a 19 for me.
I rolled a nat 1. That's a 4.
21 for me.
Judas Priest.
I also got a 19.
What?
What's it? Okay. +2.
Cross
That's
definitely has a higher deck, so you go first.
I mean, it can't be that bad.
I'm a robot.
True. Fair enough.
I mean, it's not
Venom.
bad. It's a 14, but
Yeah, my
Benevolent
dex is higher.
Cross, Jason, and Relican. And let's roll some initiative for these doggos. Jesus Christ. Good news, Relican. You're not going last. One second. I actually need to look up how something works.
There's a mosquito in here and it's bothering me. It's looking at me funny.
So take it out.
It flew away and I have no idea where it went.
Okay. Now, since most of you are still in hiding, Venelin, Cross, and Jason, I will give each of you, in that order, since Venelin, you are going first, advantage on your first attack against them.
Ooh, lovely.
Awesome.
Oh,
So, Venel, you're first. Where are you? Are you up in the rafters, or are you hiding by the dock?
Probably hiding by the dock.
Understood.
As will Jason.
Yeah. I will draw my rapier, and as soon as those 3 wolves look up to the other ones that are captured, I am going to run out and attack the first one that's closest to me.
Okay, not a problem. Make me an attack roll.
Gonna fish for the crit. The first one was a 22 to hit,
That is definitely a hit, without a doubt.
for a total of 8 damage, and that includes my sneak attack damage.
Oof. Okay. You kind of like stab this wolf like right in its torso, and it kind of like yelps a bit, but it then immediately begins barking very loudly at you, and the other 2 wolves kind of turn their attention to you almost immediately. He's still up, but is not feeling good. Cross.
Okay. I would like to approach the nearest wolf.
Since you guys are all in the same place, the nearest wolf is kind of the same wolf for all of you.
Okay. And I guess I will attack it. By punching it.
Cross casts fist.
Punch that dog.
20 to hit.
That's
We don't-
definitely a hit.
We do not condone animal violence. This is Dungeons and Dragons.
5 points of damage.
You have to punch the thing right in the nose. You really boop his snoot. And now he's kind of like even more pissed.
Oh, that's good because I'm going to. I'm going to follow it up with my bonus action.
Yeah, do that.
That's a 24.
Without a doubt, that's a hit. And I'm pretty sure any amount of damage you do is going to down this wolf. But
8.
Yeah, no, that wolf is down. The wolf immediately goes down, and the other two wolves' attentions are immediately drawn to Cross as, holy shit, he's dead. Shit. Anything else you want to do?
That would be my turn.
Understood. Jason.
Please yield while I proceed to inflict bodily harm as he brings out his battle axe, kind of like, almost like a switchblade, but too big to be a switchblade. And he goes in for one of the wolves. For 20 crit fish, 24. I assume that's it.
That's definitely a hit. These are some wolves.
And for 6 damage.
That is a hurt wolf.
Lovely.
Stupid mosquito.
As he will then stand his ground, shield up, and just kind of like standing like a turret focused on that wolf.
Okay. Now, yeah, no, that wolf is dead, so it's onto you, Relican.
Oh yay. From my position, do I have a clear shot at the wolf?
From your position, you do have a clear shot at both of the remaining wolves.
Okay. I'm gonna try to shoot the wolf. Here we go. That's a 12.
A 12 is not going to hit. The arrow kind of like whizzes past it, and you can see like a tuft of hair go flying off
God.
as it just misses.
Damn it. I'm cursed. That's my action.
Okay. The two wolves are going to kind of look at the three people in front of them, and it's not that they don't see Jason, but Jason not having, a heartbeat and skin and flesh and stuff kind of makes him less visible as a target. Like, the wolf that you hit, Jason, looks at you less like an active threat to its safety and more as like something that fell on it. And they will instead both sort of like take aim at Cross and Venolin respectively.
Great, I'm a stage hazard.
Don't worry, something will recognize how dangerous you are soon.
Thank you.
You're a dangerous boy.
Danger of being the party's biggest cinnamon roll.
The second wolf does manage to bite you, Venolin. Really? For 5 points of damage.
Son of a bitch. Ow.
While Cross, the second one, does not manage to hit you. He kind of like dives at you, but you kind of just like push his weight over that way, and he kind of skitters a bit, but lands on his feet. And we are back at the top of the order of the villain.
Alright, well, I'm gonna stab the wolf that bit me, because...
Oh, without a fucking
Yeah.
doubt. Sorry.
Excuse me. Excuse me, Mr. Wolf, but no. No.
Have you tried? Not.
Can you not?
Can you-
Every trial of life has been expired.
Exactly. And let's see. Is there an ally within 5 feet of this particular wolf?
Not anymore.
Damn it.
There was when they were both attacking you and Cross, but since Cross kind of like sent the wolf over there, there is no longer an ally within 5 feet of the wolf.
Okay. Not even Jason?
Oh, sorry, an ally of yours. Yeah, no, Cross is still next to you.
Beauty. I need to know, because sneak attack.
Yeah, I was thinking the werewolves because pack tactics.
17 to hit.
A 17 does hit.
Total of 12 damage.
Ooh.
Big oof. That is the same one that Jason hit, so that is a very dead wolf.
Woof.
Yes, Tim?
Did you say werewolves?
That was a slip up.
I really hope so. Because
They are not
technically,
werewolves.
none of this damage is sticking if they're werewolves.
No, none of them are werewolves.
Okay.
Thank God.
Like, my apologies. I had a werewolf tab open right next to the wolf tab.
Why do you have a werewolf tab open?
Don't worry about it.
For reasons that don't matter to you.
I feel
Very-
like they matter to
I
me,
feel-
and now I'm concerned.
I
For
feel
reasons
rather
that have
involved.
absolutely no import to anybody. My own professional curiosity and nothing else.
Okay.
That sounds really
Quickly
suspicious.
changes the next counter.
Right?
Okay.
But that is 12 damage total
Fine.
between sneak attack and rapier damage.
Yeah, no, and that is a very dead wolf. That wolf is very dead. Like, you kind of like wrench him off of you and kind of just go in for a quick hit, and yeah, you skewer him. He's not alive.
Good.
Okay, and it's down to Cross.
Okay, I'll go after the wolf that tried to attack me.
Yeah, without a doubt.
25 to hit.
Damage.
6.
Okay, you punch him. And he's not happy about it. But he is still very much up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Following that up with a 23.
Yeah, that's hitting too.
And that's for 7 points of damage.
6, 7, 13. Okay. You managed to get a second punch in right into the wolf's gut. And kind of just like. And lets out something that you would construe as a cough, as it kind of like backs up and skitters away, and it's not sure whether or not it wants to run away or not. Jason,
Yes.
there's the wolf that Cross is currently fighting, and then there are the 3 wolves that are still in the trap. They're not dead.
Jason turns to Cross. Would you care if I execute this poor beast?
Go ahead.
As you wish. As he gets into position, would I still be able to flank it if I got in closer?
Yeah, you can
Or-
get close enough to flank it.
Okay. So that is another 24. And
Plus.
another 6 damage.
Yeah, no, and you have definitely downed this 3rd wolf. As the noise kind of quiets, you start to hear a collection of howls coming from 20 feet above you, as the wolves that are stuck in there have just started howling very loudly.
Oh, that can't be good.
No, Ralakan, you want to deal with that? They're not even moving.
Cut the rope down and try to see if the gravity will kill him.
See if we
I
can
think
kill
is-
them through fall damage.
Not gonna lie, you came close.
Fuck.
They take 11 points of fall damage each.
Shit.
Whew.
They are all various degrees of injured. Only one of them looks genuinely able to walk still, while the other two have at least one broken limb impairing their ability to get away from you guys.
Shut him up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna count the cutting of the rope as like an action, so you can shoot him.
Can I get a mulligan?
What'd you roll?
Another nat 1.
It sounds like you need to do some rolls just to flush it out there, dear.
First, roll me a d4.
I rolled a 3. Numero trace.
You knock this arrow, and you kind of get distracted by a bird. Like you're about to aim at this wolf, and suddenly you see a bird kind of just like skim across the surface of the water behind them. And for that one glorious moment, you like move your foot, just like, son of a...
Yes.
And you do not hit either the wolf or the bird.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I am very sorry.
No, you're not.
Okay. Okay. You know, for being injured and having disadvantage, they rolled some pretty decent initiative.
Mm-hmm.
I've got like
Venolin,
what, 3 nat 1s, 4 nat 1s this entire game?
Venolin, it's back to the top of the order.
Okay, well, we're just gonna take these wolves out.
Yeah. You guys could pretty easily just surround them at this point.
Cool. I don't think a 10 hits them, though.
A 10 does not hit them.
I didn't think so. How about a 15?
A 15 will just barely hit.
Cool. I'm going to... There's no other ally currently next to them, is there?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, I'm gonna deal 1 damage
Ow.
to one of them. Whichever one looks the most hurt, because they'd all be kind of in roughly the same pile. Because I don't get my dexterity bonus on my offhand weapon, and I just drew a dagger and attacked with my bonus action, so...
Gotcha. Okay.
That's it. That's all I can do. There's 2 left.
You managed to bring a dagger into one of the more injured ones. And it kind of whimpers a bit, but it's still snarling at you.
Okay.
Kurosu.
Okay. I'm going to try and move up. How many of the wolves are left again? 2?
There are 3 wolves.
Okay.
They are all various degrees of injured, though only one looks actually able to walk. Like, fully able to walk.
Okay. I'm gonna try and fix that. I'm going to go up to the one that's not injured. Or rather able to walk.
Yeah, go forth. Do what must be done.
That is a 20 to hit.
That is a definite hit.
That is 6 points of damage.
This wolf is on its absolute last legs. He looks like he'd pass out if you blew on him too hard. He's very like
Roundhouse kick then.
yeah, sure.
22.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna have you roll damage. That is a not a live wolf. Jason,
Yes.
we got 2 more wolves. They are in various degrees of not fully capable of the walk.
Okay. I will go to the one that appears most threatening. Ish. And much like a assembly line, just kind of start hacking.
1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. Well, hit.
That is a 20
That is a hit.
for 9 damage.
And that is a dead wolf. The last wolf kind of snarls a bit and kind of is going to try and headbutt Jason. And just bonks its own head against the rigid metal carapace that is your body. It is not hitting you one bit. Ralakan. Last one.
You can do
We
it,
have
man.
faith in you, man.
Last one.
I'm calling that 20. That 20.
Gracias a Dios. I finally rolled a double-digit number, and it's a 21.
Hey! Damage!
10 damage total.
He's dead!
Yeah.
Finally.
You did it! We got one, ladies and gentlemen.
The curse. The fucking
Oh,
curse.
man.
I was just doing so many rolls. I got like 4 more nat ones. I want you to know.
Sometimes,
Flush them out. Sometimes you gotta flush them
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I might just buy some dice and fucking D&D Beyond just to change them.
Let's get some different dice. Oh my.
Get
Okay.
this man some dice.
Just pick up just pick up one of those cheap multi sets from Amazon.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of contemplating what to do with these wolves when suddenly it appears that their howls seem to have been answered by 3 very low but much louder howls coming from the other ends of the place.
That ain't good.
Ralakan, roll me that hot and spicy history check, please.
It's +4. Here we go. 19.
You noted while you were watching these wolves sort of form together, you didn't see any of them really assume a leader role. And you, having been doing the hunting thing for a while, know that typically wolves have at least a few of them who are designated as being the better ones. Or at least the ones in charge. And you have a feeling that those 3 lower but significantly louder howls might be some bigger and maybe angrier wolves.
Con turned to Venelin. Yeah, we gotta leave.
Yep. Yes, we do.
Alfalfa is mad.
Alfalfa.
Are you sure you do not want to remake the trap?
Nope, we ain't got the time for that.
You could leave, or any attempt to vacate, whether it be to actually leave or to just hide, will require you to make some form of stealth check.
There's 3 of them. We might be able to take them.
Well, let's try
just
the
gotta get the
again,
jump.
then.
We just gotta get the jump on them.
They
There's
did
enough.
ask us to eliminate all the monsters in this area.
Yep. There's enough containers around. Cross.
Yeah?
How well can you climb?
I'm pretty good at climbing.
Okay. Venelin is going to get Cross up onto a container first,
Mm.
and then help Jason get up onto a separate one, and then she is going to climb up onto a third one, and let Ralakan get himself up onto the one he was on before.
Well, Ralakan can fly.
I know what I said.
Fair enough.
And then she's just gonna lie in wait. Like, laying down on the top of the container to try and hide as much as she can, knowing that there's nothing they can do about the scent, but just hoping that the scent of fresh blood is enough to cover it. So,
Okay.
that is a 13 for stealth.
You may all roll me a stealth check.
Lovely. Oh wow, 19.
stealth.
And Mr. Cross?
24.
Oh,
So we're really just
rogue. Sorry.
I didn't take proficiency in stealth.
Fair enough. Why are everybody's heads vacating the fray?
Because the rogue didn't take stealth! That's like a wizard not taking Arcana! I'd say or a cleric not taking religion, but my cleric on Thursday nights doesn't take religion.
To be fair, okay, a
Or a
rogue
barbarian not taking intimidation.
doesn't always have to be stealthy. A rogue can just be a powerhouse that kills things before they're spotted.
Or intimidates them to knowing better.
If
What
there's
is your
nobody
roll?
left to see me, do I really have to worry about stealth?
What did you roll?
I rolled a 13. Like, it's still, like, 13's nothing to sneer at, really.
It's not that bad.
No. But
No, no.
it definitely would have been a 15 if I had taken proficiency in it.
I just found it funny that we got 2 19s and a 24
And none of them were
to
on the rogue!
juxtapose against that.
None of them were on the rogue!
Like you turn around to just make sure Cross is okay, and you just see like a dotted outline where he was standing.
Pretty much.
Okay. You guys managed to hide in your separate containers. Just in time for 3 significantly larger wolves to come sort of scurrying out of some containers. And Ralakan, you're pretty sure that these are dire wolves.
Oh.
They are much bigger. How tall are you, Ralakan?
I'm 4'6".
These guys stand, like, being fully quadrupedal, they still stand maybe a couple of inches shorter than you.
No.
They're big. They're big.
No.
And there's 3 of them.
Woof.
Wolf indeed, yes.
Woof woof, bork bork.
Porka porka, pork wolf.
Much big, very dog.
Bark.
Now, being that you are stealthed, well, actually, first, let's roll for the wolves. The wolves do not smell you, with the exception of the faint smell of old fish and low tide coming from a few dozen feet directly above them.
I should have washed the slime off.
While they are distracted, as a final act before the second part of this fight, I will allow the 3 of you, Jason, Cross, and Venelin, or rather, Venelin, Cross, and Jason, since we are still in initiative, to give me attacks on them before we restart the turn order.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Oh god. Here we go. Advantage on this, yay or nay?
Since Ralakan is not close enough to them to warrant flanking, however, since you guys are all going on them, I'll allow it.
Cool. I got a 21
Wonderful.
with the rapier, for a total of 10 damage.
Nice. Cross.
Give me a second.
Are you guys all blitzing one wolf, or are you guys going after a wolf each? Venelin thinks we should be blitzing a single wolf.
These are...
Yeah, just your eyes and nothing else. Like,
We'll blitz a single wolf? Okay.
oh, sorry, that
Fair
doesn't-
enough. Let's see, that's a 25. Let's see if I can crit fish. Nope, so 25 to hit.
Still hitting.
Seven points of damage.
Beautiful. Jason.
No. Cool. All right.
blitzing
Commencing
us.
blitzing of single wolf. Well, that's a 24. Let's crit fish. 24 to hit.
Still hitting.
8 points of damage.
So that is a 10, 7, 8, 25. You guys lay into this one direwolf, landing some pretty decent wounds and some pretty grievous bruising on him. He is still standing. Barely. He looks like he's gonna bleed out in a bit, because y'all have done a number on him, but he is still up.
Jason
And-
will try to stand in front of Venelin and Cross and just kind of hunker down with his shield ready.
Chink. Chink, chink. Oh man. And I think we will continue the second part of this fight next week.
Ooh.
I hope you enjoyed our first session of the Stolen Cities. This is one of, what is this, 5 campaigns that we run across the week now?
If you don't mind, I'll take over the wrap-up, so...
Sure, if you
Until
want to.
because I need to write you up the actual this is the shit that actually needs to get said at the beginning and end, and I haven't done that yet, and I'm sorry it slipped through the cracks. School's been kicking my ass this week.
Fair enough.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank our sponsors. That is D&D Beyond. That is D, the letter N, dbeyond.com. Normally we use it on Mondays and Thursdays, and we use it tonight. But we don't have it connected to the overlay, so unfortunately you won't get to see our lovely stat sheets. However, we will soon have the scrolling stat sheets for you guys to look at on the stream. I'm working on adjusting the overlay. It's coming, hopefully next week. If not next week, the week after. As well, we'd like to thank Lucky Dice Cafe and Liquor Express. If you're looking for live games to play in the Huntsville, Alabama area, please head on out to those two locations to check out Heath, who is our main DM here with Dire Bear Adventuring Company. And he is running live games. Make sure that you wear your mask, buy your tickets in advance, wash your hands, and, of course, be safe. We are now on a one-day break because we now play on Saturdays. So one-day break, and we'll be back on Monday with the Escorts from 7 till 10 EST, where we are caught in the middle of a celestial civil war. Oh, God.
Ooh.
Something that you casually get into on Mondays.
Yeah, just casually get into a
You ever
celestial
wonder
civil
why
war.
the phrase "I hate Mondays" exists?
This is why.
Yeah.
This right here. Tuesday we'll have another episode of Valley by Night set in the Tennessee Valley area. If you're looking for something southern and vampire, that is going to tick all your boxes. Wednesday we'll be back with another episode of Monster of the Week where you get to see me mimic my shitty southern accent playing the para-romantic in Monster of the Week, where we have fucked some things up really badly.
Nice.
Just as the para-romantic, I think you can remove the up.
I would agree, except my romantic interest is actually with the party.
Huh!
And is getting hit on
Ooh.
by the mundane, and she's not sure how she feels about it.
Fair enough.
Thursday, we'll be back with another episode of Descent into Avernus as the party has just finished up their first stint with the Wandering Emporium and are headed for the Demon Zapper. And then we'll be back next Saturday with another episode of the Stolen Cities. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, be good to one another, wear your mask, wash your hands, and roar for initiative.